This is Karen and Tim Titus from Stampin' on the Back Porch, and we are doing a podcast about creativity, life, and paper crafting.
So I have a question for you today. What memories come to mind when you think of Christmas as a child?
I grew up on a farm, and my grandmother was in a wheelchair. She had crippling arthritis. She lived in our house, and I remember a Christmas tree always in the same place in the corner. But when she was alive, I remember her big wheelchair, which was made out of wicker, was like kind of at an angle by the tree, and we took pictures of us on her lap.
Oh, that's an awesome
It is.
memory.
It is. It was wonderful.
Oh, I love that. How about a couple more?
I remember being upset by a present that I got, or the presents, it was kind of accumulation of presents, and I thought it was inadequate. And I complained, I moped or whatever, and my mother just lit into me. She just my mother doesn't hold back very much, so she just railed on me, what in the world's the matter with you? And so
That would be your mother.
It would be. It would be.
But what a fun memory now. Do you remember what the gifts even were?
No.
But
No, not
it's
at
the
all.
story around it.
No,
I think
not
it
at
is
all.
just kind of that fun.
I just remember being upset.
I think for most of us, when we think back, our happiest memories really don't have a lot to do with the gifts, unless it stands out like that. But more about
Unless
the
you're me.
people, the traditions, the funny stories, kind of all of that around Christmas.
One of our traditions, which again, I don't want to be a complainer, but I'm complaining. We had oyster stew every Christmas Eve, and it was horrible. It was heated up milk and little oysters floating around in there. And they were just nasty. And the milk was nasty. Everything about it was just horrible. And that's what our supper was every Christmas Eve.
But you have the anticipation to get you through, and it wouldn't have been Christmas without that.
No, there's no. I couldn't.
So you
could
don't
not
want to
spin
reinvent
it.
that,
No,
okay?
I could not spin it.
Well, this year, of course, Thanksgiving was very different. We spent it alone, but what we did do with our local family was just last week. So in December, we met around a campfire in our son's backyard, and you were a little cold.
Well, I was underdressed because they have this big garage, 2-car garage that's just like a man cave, not in the basement, but it's out in the garage, and it's wonderful. It's got a fireplace in it, and it's sheltered from the storm, from the wind and stuff like that. So I figured we're going to be in there.
Not insulated, so a safer place to be. Mm-hmm.
No, it would have been fine. But I get there, and they have the huge garage door open, and we're sitting outside around a fire, and it's like the back of my head, back of my neck, my back was just freezing. And I'm usually wearing my scarf, and I don't have that on right now. But if my neck is cold, I'm cold. But Jamie, our daughter-in-law, had this really cool thing, which was a kind of looked like a long, fat snake. I don't know what it looked like, but it had battery operated, and it was a heater, and you wrapped it around your neck. And after I got that, she let me borrow it. She was wearing it, and she said she was fine, so she gave it to me. And so
that whole thing reminded me of a podcast we did a couple of weeks ago about friluftsliv. I don't even know how you say it, the Norwegian term, where they say there's no bad weather, just bad clothing. Because look what a difference that made.
Oh, it did.
And it's kind of the whole thing. So I think that just should be on your list because we do spend our time outside.
Overdress, and then you can take stuff off.
But where I was going with this was that our daughter brought up in conversation, said, let's talk about all the traditions we had at Christmas growing up, because I was trying to remember. We had a lot of them. So we had so much fun going back and forth, talking about all these shared things. And it got me to thinking, recently when I've been talking with my mom, who is 96 and in a nursing home, and we can't see her, we've been talking a lot about Christmases, Thanksgivings, the holidays past. And I think that has just been such a fun thing to do with her. the memories and the reminiscing, those are just important tangible things. And some are very specific to years, others are just general. So it just reminded me again of how important traditions are.
Can I say something? By doing Advent and all the days of Advent, you can really stretch Christmas out. But we took it one step further. We did the 12 days.
We did 12 days of Christmas after, too.
After Christmas. So we had all of Advent. We had the 12 days after Christmas. It was like a month and a half.
And I think the whole thing about Advent is the whole preparation. And, Christmas season is so much bigger than just kind of that one day. So I feel like this is the year to look at reinventing some old traditions, maybe even starting some new ones. And I'm going to call it Traditions with a Twist. So I'm going to share some of the things that we've done, how they could be changed, and other ideas that I've heard along the way. Because we all know the most precious gifts are not those ones that are wrapped under the tree, even if all your hopes are put in those for things. It is about all of the other things. So last year we did.
What are you getting me for Christmas? I hope I'm not disappointed.
Well, I think I gave a really strong hint right on this podcast, but if you weren't paying attention,
No.
that's just your problem. Okay.
I wasn't.
So we've been doing podcasts for a year now. Is that amazing? So last year, one of our first ones, although we did take a hiatus there for a few months, but we did a podcast about making Christmas a time of giving for kids. I think if we can focus on them learning to give, it's still the fun of all the gifts and the whole thing about Christmas, but it's more about the giving. And I just think that that's a fun idea. Most of them were fun ideas. So this is one. One that we shared was that every year we made some kind of handmade gift. It might be a cute little ornament that could hang from the tree that a little candy cane would fit in, and we'd have them all over the tree. One year we took those microwave popcorn things and turned them into snowmen, and they were in a basket. And then the tradition was, starting December 1st, anyone that came to our door, only first-time visitors or the neighborhood kids would have wiped us out, got a gift from us. And they were all ready to go. So what was really fun was that the kids were excited every time the doorbell would ring in December. They'd run to the door to see who it is and who could give them the gift. And I just think what a fun tradition. Well, now you don't have people coming to your house, so we could still take the same idea and go deliver them. But wouldn't that be fun to do with kids? And make a list about who's important, who would like it, who would usually come to your house, but then you can expand beyond that. And while you're doing that, I think the coolest thing is you're talking about those people, what's special about them, you're thinking of them, you're remembering them. And then go in the car, take a trip and go visiting. Of course, you're going to drive through and get a fun meal somewhere and kind of make it a party, but go around and deliver these.
A Happy Meal?
Sure, why not?
Fun meal.
Or snacks in the car, whatever. But the whole thing becomes fun as you go around to different people's houses. So the other thing I think about is, what are the traditions you've usually done with the kids in your life? And, if they don't live with you, if you're the aunt, grandparent, friend, whatever, you can still kind of recreate some of those. So what if you've always gotten together and made cookies? Maybe you can send a whole package.
Lefse.
Yes, that would be a little trickier if you're the one that teaches. My mom has taught people to make lefse, but I could never carry that on. And you can't, it had to be something easy.
She didn't pay attention. If she
No,
paid
I
attention,
love
she
it.
could do that.
I love it, but I'm just not a...
You're a teacher.
Tim
so
is the one that she needed to teach, not me, and it's a little late for that. But
It is.
but I think you could send that all the ingredients and the things to them, and maybe you have some pictures from the past of when you made them together. Include that, just make it really fun, and then ask them, include with it a self-addressed stamped box so they can send some cookies back to you, because that's just kind of part of the tradition that you share that. And maybe they'll FaceTime you while they're making it or send some pictures back. Or if you have pictures, put them in there. I think what a fun way to kind of continue that tradition. Mm-hmm. The same if you get together to craft. Maybe you send things and you're just going to make paper chains together, something to decorate the
Seriously?
house, whatever you're remembered for.
Paper chains.
Oh, we used to make a lot of paper
I know.
chains. Yeah.
Decorate the tree with them.
Yes. So you could just do that, even though everyone has paper in their house. There's something about getting this package, getting this stuff. We're going to make paper chains. Here are all these strips, and then you're going to make them too.
We used to call it construction paper.
Yes, that works too.
Well, that's how you'd make
Yes.
them. What'd you
Yeah.
make them out of?
Construction paper.
Yeah.
But now I would use nicer paper.
I know.
Not that I'm a paper crafter,
no.
but no, paper chains, they're just meant for that.
Back when I was a kid, construction paper was one of the nicest papers there was.
And right along with this idea, you could make and involve your kids in anything, but even without kids to do this, just love and care packages. I think, especially think of those that are going to be spending it totally alone. I think if you send some homemade cookies or fudge or anything to let them know you're thinking about it, and then include something that reminds you of them. If they're a knitter, a skein of yarn would just be a fun thing. I think even if someone can't even knit anymore and they're older, but if you have this memories of knitting together, wouldn't that be a fun reminder? Something that reminds you and then put in the letter of them. And I think kids are very inventive about this too. If you ask what would be something that would represent great aunt so-and-so, to come up with something, I just think anything like that that makes it really personal would be a fun thing to do.
This mother that I was talking about, that was kind of, to the point. I, one year, made her a crewel embroidery. I learned how, I don't know. Karen,
Did you really? No.
Yes. I made a little picture. And
was that the year we did the handmade gifts?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I vaguely remember it now.
all I know is that I made my mother a little picture of crewel embroidery. So Karen must have taught me how to do it. I've never done it since, but
See, that's very cool, going that little extra mile. But, if somebody you always baked with, if you just put in a little cookie, even a jar of spices, something just something. I just think things that they would just sit and look at and be reminded of all these fun things.
since I'm very spontaneous, I'm going to ask you for a New Year's gift, and that is to teach me how to knit.
Oh, I would be glad to do that.
I would like to just sit and watch TV and knit. I don't think I could do it, but if I got good enough, I wouldn't have
And
to
then we
even
could
look
get
at
these
it.
little warming batteries and you make your own. I'll get you. But that's great. If you are going to do a get together with your family over Zoom, which is what a lot of people are doing, here's some fun ideas. Make it a party. I mean, maybe if you aren't even going to do it right at Christmas, you can plan something and do a gingerbread building thing. You send each family a gingerbread kit. You make it on Zoom, and then you have prizes for things. You could come up with a prize for every single house. The one that fell the soonest, the fanciest one, the ones that uses the least, you just kind of make it up because it's just kind of the fun. I think that would be a very fun memory. Or
Another memory. Our kids went to Awana at a local covenant church, and we made gingerbread houses
Every year.
Every year, and
Yeah.
it was so fun.
Yes, and then they decorated our mantle throughout Christmas. So one year when our kids were young, your sister Mary sent everyone, all the adults too, sent everyone matching T-shirts. Do you remember that?
No.
Oh, I remember
How
that.
could
but
I
thought-
forget?
Okay, but this year I
What
was
did
thinking
it say on it?
it must have been something about San Francisco or something. I don't remember.
Oh, yes.
But you remember that?
Yes, now I remember
Yeah.
that.
And so we all took a picture, and it was with
I probably still have
their
it.
grandma and stuff, So, but I thought this year, I was just reminded of that and thinking, how fun would it be on a Zoom call to have everyone dressed the same, whether you send pajamas or T-shirts, and you do this family picture, and everyone looks alike, and you're in the little squares. I mean, there's just some things like I think can make it
This
fun.
does not sound like Karen.
Well, as long as you. But if you're going to do something,
I'm just saying.
I would
Matching. Let's you and I have matching.
You and I are going to do
matching
Hey,
pajamas.
If we did it with all of our grandkids and stuff, then I'm all over it. No, you and I are not going to do the matching.
Matching pajamas.
Matchy.
Yes.
No, we are not doing that for our. But I think that would be it'd be a great Christmas card for next year. Remember when? But I think, and the other thing about Zoom, you can send party decorations, and if you have kids in the family, whether or not they live with you, get them involved in the planning. What would make a fun party? Taking on some ownership to this and some ideas, I think is just really a great thing for kids. And then just make a really fun party out of the deal. So another idea that I think would be fabulous. I was thinking about all the people are having birthday parties now, and they do the drive-by parties. You know, and you hear people honking, and every now and then we'll hear that, and we'll go down the street to see whose birthday it is, and we can wish them a happy birthday. Thought, why not do that for Christmas? Doesn't need to be Christmas Day, but some point, just pick a weekend or something. And again, if you have kids, I would get them totally involved in decorating the yard. Now, way beyond lights. I mean, I'm not even talking about doing a great big fancy light display. I'm talking more like doing signs, making their own little, doing whatever you want to do to decorate for Christmas to make it, you know, the excitement. It's like when a child is excited about the birthday party, all the preparation for it. It's kind of like that. And then put out an invitation to neighbors, family, friends. This is a drive-by. Come pick up cookies and hot chocolate or coffee to go. Have them all ready and to go. Wouldn't that be fun?
That'd be fun.
People can stay in their car. You can wear masks and you can give them. And I think that would just be a really fun thing to do. Now, if you have kids in the home, they would totally get into the serving and doing all this. If you don't, and instead the kids will be driving by, then I would think about make some things that are fun in the yard for them that they have to go look for, whether they're in the car or out of the car. But just engages this like a game.
With or without snow.
This could even be done as a cookie exchange, except I wouldn't want people to feel like they had to bring cookies if they came by. But it's that whole idea of creating something different that still would be this fun, special day that people would look forward to. And whatever you do, I'm going to suggest take some pictures. I think that...
Make some cards.
Another podcast we did a year ago, I called The One Scrapbook Every Family Should Have. And actually, I will link in the show notes to these two podcasts because it's just, you know, just got me thinking about those. But, and it was kind of a silly statement because we don't have this one, but starting over, it's what I would do. An album with the 2-page spread of each year at Christmas. And the thing that's wonderful about it is that you bring it out at Christmas, so it actually gets looked at. And it's a memory thing because, you know, you page through, the kids are a year older each year. The adults never age, you know. But you think about it, you talk about it. Oh, yeah, that was the year that we did this. Or this is the year that so-and-so was missing. Or this was the year we had this extra gift.
So ironic. I actually was going through our photo albums to find something for my daughter. And I found exactly what you're talking about. And I was going to bring it over to Josiah's, and I forgot to bring it.
Okay. But
So
I think that, you know, in the future, this is a point in time that we have never seen before. Hopefully we'll never see again. And someday this too will be a memory, and we'll look back. And I think it's important to document that. We can document our feelings, what we did about it instead, and we can look at pictures like that, and we can feel like we still made Christmas special.
as they say in AA, this too shall pass.
So thank you, and we hope you are enjoying this time of Advent and preparing for Christmas.
Indeed. Thanks.